Hey Aries, you or your archetype Emperor has been showing up in like 90% of the readings, a lot of the readings, because Aries is going into Mars. Aries is in Jupiter. Jupiter is in Aries. Excuse me, Mars is going into Aries. Wow. Oh wow. Aquarius, not Aries, but clearly you got something to say. You got a lot to say to a part of yourself that needs some maybe tough love or only something an Aries can say kind of love, as well as this part of you that's waking up from a long slumber. It feels like, I know we've been talking about a lot, but there's something about feeling like you've been in a slumber or in something, or feeling like something surreal has happened recently, or your life is beginning to really be something, sort of a destiny that you're sensing. And what is coming from that is this strength, this love, this opportunity for some kind of tradition, in your own way. Deciding what it is that really fills you up, putting what you have into the way that you live and how you choose to live and how you choose to educate yourself. This is a very, like, the Judgment, then the Nine of Swords, and then the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups is spiritual as fuck. So no wonder why you're showing up in everyone's readings. It's like a miracle. For some of you, Gemini season, coming out of Taurus season, Taurus entering Mercury in retrograde for a little bit during this month as well. That will happen on the 22nd, which is today, actually, when I do this reading. Not when it comes out, when I do this reading. That's when I've been feeling. Even I didn't put two and two together, you know? Here you are, doing something that other people think that you do more often than you actually do. I don't think people realize how much you do that you feel is the right thing to do, or whatever your programming, or however you were raised, or however you decide to choose to act out your life. They don't realize how much you actually do for and can do for others, or can do for those instincts that you have and that you are naturally coming back to at this time, which feels kind of different because it feels more, again, like I just said to Aquarius, Gemini brings out this raw side of each one of us, like our true nature, regardless of how crazy it can look sometimes, or unhinged it can look sometimes, or passionate, or controlling, or angry, or in love and infatuated. There's all these different things. And from Three of Wands to Three of Swords, it's very big of you to expand your life in this way, expand your heart in the way that feels more like you. Also saying things, you may be feeling like you're saying things, and you could be saying something to a Taurus, but we'll get more into that into the second part, which would be on a Patreon link below where we look at the cards. There is this moment where you have time to yourself to realize that you've been speaking certain things into existence without realizing. It's like a normal conversation for you is actually become your way of life, and you've caught yourself, and this month more than ever, you catch yourself doing that and realizing how powerful it can be, and how it can either be helpful or not helpful. And now you're doing it in a way that may be more helpful, and you're finding that this spiritual side of you, whether it looks like religion or it looks like something you really believe in and you want to talk about, is starting to pour through you at this time. there may be talks of marriage as well. There is a significant moment you also have yourself. So this month is very well-rounded for you, but very personal, extremely personal. But it's you living out your life in a different way that can feel drastic to others, but it's like you've been waiting to do this. You've just been waiting for the right time, and I don't even think you realized you did, because you're still doing while you were waiting, and now you're here not waiting anymore. And by the Gemini new moon, and then especially by Cancer season, what will be revealed to you is what you can no longer protect other people from. You're no longer protecting yourself from yourself. And what I mean by that is this person who is allowed to be not only fortuitous in what they do, good at what they do, secure at who they are, and extremely abundant at that. Of course, you may find that, some people not agreeing with you, but you don't care. Saturn in Aquarius has been coming up so much too. This for you feels like that. It also could be Capricorn, that's about it in the deck, but I think you've realized that you've stayed in this state of, I understand what I need to do in order to help out whoever's around you, or give to whoever's around you, and yet do it for yourself too. Even you can get flack for that even. But now you're so strong-willed, and you have Mars, your home, like Aries is home in your sign, or in its planet of Mars. Mercury retrograde is really fucking with me, and I can really admit that through these readings, but it's been funny. It's also the heat, but I don't know, I'm still wanting to do my shit, Talk to Virgo about that. You just want to do your shit no matter what. You don't care. You're willing to go the distance. You're willing to see and sit with your heart, even though it hurts. You're willing to create through that at this point. You're willing to see where this ride can take you, because you're jumping on a different kind of ride now. You just have to remember the consequences. We talked about that before, but I think you're aware and more ready for the consequences that come, because it feels like you kind of want them. It's like you're being the right kind of rebel, if there is one. You're being that rebellious side of yourself, but you're rebelling against your own upbringing and coming back even more to your true nature, and the potential that comes from that, and realizing how much you can hold on your shoulders and do, how much you're opening up your world in this way. You're doing things you knew that you could do, you maybe envisioned yourself doing, but you're actually doing. You see that the more that you actually open up to the world in a way that's not only showing them this certain side of yourself, but you're opening up in a different way, that it actually is not only healing, and that's what the moon can do for you. This is how I picture full moons, and all of us under the full moons, but this for you may be feeling more strong, is that we all have our shadow and insecurities that come out even more when it gets darker and the moon gets brighter, because we're seeing it so clearly, or being presented the opportunity to see it so clearly and see it around us. I know how I can get before around a moon, and I'm realizing that pattern now. But what's happening for you is this ability to kind of lay it all out there for yourself, and then make those moves for yourself, and have those conversations that can be difficult, but only brings you closer to yourself, and for other people to get to know you better, and you're someone who's not afraid of that. So during these phases of this month, it's you standing under the moon, naked, just with yourself, with your heart, with your, raw heart that you use so gracefully most of the time. Well, all the time, you're always just being yourself. It's revealing, and it's keeping this wheel going. Jupiter's in your sign as well, and here you are. And everybody's just got to get used to it, because you're not just saying something now. Not that you can't do that and make people laugh and be the star of the show, but you're really saying something now, doing something now, and there's a difference. There's a big difference in not only who you envisioned yourself to be at a certain time that you are becoming in, but it's even different than you envisioned yourself because you've gone through the experience and gained the character through it as well. And that is who you are. I'm not saying that you're choosing to play a character. It's about this opening that's happening, this understanding that's happening when you see and learn from even your the next evolution, which is Taurus. And Taurus being in Mercury, I think, is a great time for you to be very dominant in what you have to say and what you believe. It's going to bring you up and out of something that, again, has probably lasted a while. It was just really deep in there, and the Scorpio eclipse has brought it up and out, and new moon too in Taurus, like Taurus placements as well, just bringing things up and out. And it's something that's actually really good for your ego, and is like kind of is letting go of another part of you that adds to like the raw part of your ego. So I'd say roll with it. You know, the summer's hot already, but here you are. There's something being opened for you, and you're simultaneously walking through and seeing it very clearly now that, you know, you deserve this and you're worthy of this more than ever, but not without learning, not without pain, not without suffering, and learning how you're a part of it and how you can shift that for yourself and for whoever you want to leave life behind for, whoever you're leaving eventually life behind. Whether you have kids or not, or if you have a creation that you've worked on or a house, all of those things, they're not really comparable to a kid, but not everyone has them. So you're still leaving something behind, and it's your energy. It's how someone feels around you. And I think a lot of people are going to feel somewhat uncomfortable around you this month, but good. Let them. People who really know you will be like, yes, here you are. Hello. Love it. Great. Let's do this. And you want to bring people along for the ride. By the end of the month, going into Cancer season, for you is a grand opening. So that's what I'm going to probably call next month's reading, but it's just lots of circles, cycles, full circle. There's also a crescent moon. You know, if your heart had been broken, it sucks, no doubt. And I always think and feel, and I know this is said, but I do really believe that everything does happen in its own way, and it's showing you something that maybe you didn't see before. Things are ending in a certain way, but things are really opening up in another way. And this is another theme from the eclipse that's happening for people. It's just up to you now how you choose to handle it. And I don't think your instincts are going to let you, you know, just walk away from an opportunity for real love and truth and abundance and prosperity and something like deeply profound within you. If you've created something, well, here you are. Here you are, letting it flow. Here you are, owning it. Here you are, letting things happen just as much as doing the things. You got a long road ahead of you, and I think you know that. All right, Aries. We'll see you in the second part, which will be in a link below, as well as information to work with me one-on-one. I'll see you next month.